is a girl. She's a star. She's got style. Steffi Star. You see her face around the town. She's popular. Steffi Star.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Weinstein.
And I'm Meredith Keach.
And we have a top producing real estate team of 11 people over at
Easton Coldwell Banker.
Yes. And we have a fabulous guest here.
Hello, I'm Rachel Jacobs from marketing. Thanks for having me here.
We like to call
Friends.
you our
Yeah.
creative director.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
like that.
really you are. We meet with you weekly.
Mm-hmm.
You help us with everything marketing and advertising.
Can I do a timeout for 1 minute?
Oh, sure.
I am freaking out.
Sorry, I forgot.
Okay,
Yep.
I am freaking out.
Okay.
So I was working diligently at my home this morning, and I said, what is that noise? I said, my neighbor must be doing work on his house. Wait, hold on. Did you hear that?
That's a critter.
Okay, there's something in my house. So I texted Steve. I'm like, hi, Steve, are you doing work at your house? He's like, no, I'm over at the deli. There is a giant animal. I don't know what it is. It is so loud. I had to run out of my house. I couldn't even go back upstairs. I have no coat. I have no food. I have nothing. I am petrified.
That is terrifying.
Like, that is a loud noise. And now I will not go home. So I texted Tony. I'm like, I know that you are having lunch with the president of Cape Verde right now, but this is an emergency.
I need the critter out of my house right now.
What do you guys think it is? It sounds louder than a squirrel. I think it's a raccoon. And the other problem is when you come in my door and you look up, I had a leak. So there's a hole in my ceiling right now. And I think the critter is just going to find that hole and drop and is probably running around my house right now.
I mean, I have a lot of stories I could tell
I am
you anecdotally.
freaking out.
But they're all good. All the animals got out.
How?
Do you want to hear a little story with them? Okay, so the first one was my parents' house. They live in a very wooded setting. And they heard at night.
I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Neither would I.
So my dad took it upon himself to go up and remove the recessed lighting where he thought the noise was coming from. What I thought he thought he was going to do, no idea. And
He's
said
brave.
He got up on a ladder, pulled the recessed lighting out.
Okay.
Now this is my gigantic dad,
Right.
teetering on a ladder.
Oh, jeez.
All of a sudden,
Uh-oh.
a head pops out of the hole.
Oh my goodness.
This is I can't. I am so scared.
No, that's why you hire somebody.
Yeah, I need
Well,
to call someone.
It was a raccoon. It was
Oh
a
my
female
goodness.
raccoon who had gotten in. This is after the wildlife people come in because there are people for this. We'll get you, like, you're good. We'll get some for you. The mom, they had to wait because they couldn't get at them. The mom would have her babies, and then one day she would take them out, and then they would patch up the area where she got in, and they couldn't get back in.
Okay, well, Christina Cabral on our team told me she had an incident with 2 of her bathrooms because they connected or whatever, and there was a nest of birds. They couldn't do anything until the birds hatched, but the birds, when they come out of the nest, they fly. They had nowhere to fly. So every other day she would find a dead, hairless bird on her floor.
Oh my
I said,
goodness,
thanks for
that's
the I'm like, thanks, Christina. Thanks for the story. So,
Wow.
so this is what's going on in my life right now, and I'm just beside myself.
I don't blame you. I don't want critters. The penalty for being a critter or bug in my house is death.
I was like, why do you have to wait for these things to hatch? Because I'd be like, take them
I'm not.
right
If
now.
I have to wait for something to
Right
hatch,
now.
I'm moving out.
Yeah.
I
no, just
cannot
take
live
it
like
out.
this.
Well,
It's your home.
we had, so there was a part, in one of the corner of the outside of our house, there was, I don't know what you call it, this like covered piece. Anyway, a squirrel had chewed a hole through that and was creating a nest there. The difficulty is the other side of that wall is my attic. And I was not happy about that because I didn't want squirrels in my attic. That would be
Right.
really bad. So thank God for David Mills. Shout out to him because he came over, climbed up on the ladder, scooted out all the material, the nesting material, and then patched it up.
Well,
and was like,
can
"You can't
David
come in."
Mills come to my house?
Well, he's not a wildlife
Oh.
person.
Can I tell
knew.
one more wildlife story? I just
Yeah.
remembered it. Back in my old house in Sharon, my father, we heard something the same in the
There's
chimney.
nothing worse.
Now, my mother, so we had the fireplace. So my mother was sitting on the couch right next to the chimney watching as my father had a head of lettuce or cabbage that he's holding up in the chimney. So sure enough, a squirrel comes running down, jumps on mother's head.
What?
Yes. Jumps on mother's head and then is running through the house. Mother had to go get some type of a shot.
And she probably had to go through the whole rabies.
Yeah,
Probably.
Well, and a bat in your house,
She's
I
like,
think you have to do that.
Yeah.
Damn it! She drove herself to the hospital. The squirrel was on her head.
Hopefully. You know
Another time, mother was walking outside and a squirrel jumped from the tree onto her shoulders.
Oh,
She had-
they just like her.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all. All right, I feel better
Critters.
now that I spoke about it.
Well,
Not really. I
you
don't
got
feel
it off
better
your
at
chest,
all.
But they'll get out.
Right.
Yeah, you'll get it out
right.
of your house.
All right, let's move on to
Let's
gorgeous
go back
Rachel.
to marketing,
Marketing.
advertising, and amazing hair. Rachel.
Yes, like
Thank
who has
you.
better hair than you?
No one.
Thank you very much. Thank
Do you use what do you do?
I bought one of those beach wavers.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
What is a beach waver?
I thought it was
those
the-
irons that they have on all over Instagram, and that those ads.
You mean the
stuck
flat
for me
round
right
brush? That's a heated one?
No, it's just
Oh.
like a curling wand,
Oh.
but it lasts.
Oh, the
forever.
wand.
Yeah,
Meaning the curl lasts?
the curl lasts forever. And I got it from a friend who recommended. She was just like, "You see those ads all over Instagram?" And I'm like, "I do." And she's like, "That's what I do with my hair." So I had to buy one.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah.
Meredith, can you
I'll
do a
link you.
curl like
I'm going
that?
to find out.
Yep.
So
That's where they get you on Instagram.
Oh, please. We had this conversation the other day.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a sucker.
So do you use product first? Do you blow dry first? How do you do it?
Yeah, I blow dry it first because my hair's thick, so it takes forever to dry naturally, and then I just curl it up.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'm going to do it. Especially with your highlights. It looks amazing.
I know.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks.
What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. I just
You
feel
could
like
have a curl,
no.
but you don't like big hair.
Well, no, I do. But last time it falls out.
Oh.
Yeah, which I don't know why because I have such frizzy hair. I don't know why my
Yeah, it
hair
surprises me too.
I don't get it. I don't understand. All I know is that my hair, according to Brooke Zimino, grows forward.
Well, see, that's why bangs work for you.
Right.
I can't do bangs because I got the cowlick in the front of my
Well,
head,
I do
so-
too, but she said your hair follicle grows forward. So when you blow dry my hair, you can't do the traditional, like with the flat brush going this way. You have to blow my hair forward. It's very
Well, it looks so
interesting.
good, though. Like, I would
It
die for
does?
bangs like that. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
my bangs were, I just cut my own bangs. Don't tell.
Again?
Yeah, I do
looks
it all the time.
amazing. Well, and I think that's important, right? Like finding what works for how my hair just, I couldn't hold a curl forever until I found that. I'm like, oh, this is my look. And I wish I could do bangs, but you found your look. It looks amazing.
I haven't really found my look.
Meredith.
Stop.
Meredith, you have, oh my God, again.
We're on a podcast.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
And you did this to Benny before.
And it's her again. Yep.
Poor Benny.
Yep.
Poor Benny. Catch you next time, Ben.
Well, I go today. I think I'm going to lighten up a little bit because I feel like my color for me is getting a little dark.
Oh, and
Okay.
that's where you're saying the cap. The cap's the look today because you're going to get your hair done.
Yeah.
What
And
a
she's gonna
nice
cut
day,
today.
Meredith.
I haven't had it cut since maybe the fall.
Wow. Looks good.
Your cleaning person
good.
is at your house today. You're getting your hair done.
This is a
You're
productive day.
negotiating multiple offers on multiple listings.
It's a very exciting week.
It is. This week has been absolutely incredible.
Not a great week for sleep.
No.
I agree.
Right?
I've had a really busy, super productive week, but sleep has not been great.
Sleep
It's
has not
elusive
been
this
on
week.
it.
Maybe I think there's a big moon too.
I was up last night,
Yeah. me
but
too.
I was poking. I'm like staring at Tony. I'm like, "Are you up?"
You're the worst.
He's
You're like my
like-
husband.
What? I go, "Can we talk about escalation clauses?"
It's like, let me sleep.
He's like, "Are you serious?" Because last time I did this was years ago, like in Costa Rica or something. I'm like, "We need to talk." He's like, "What time is it?" I'm like, 3 a.m. He's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "This isn't working." He's like, do you think we can talk about it in the morning? I go, okay, fine. So then I woke up in the morning and go, I was only kidding, I'm fine.
Well, I think in addition to being, as successful and productive as you both are, you're also creative people. And that does keep you up at night. Because I know my whole life, I'll get great ideas in the middle of the night. And I'm like, wait, I need to do something with this. And whether it's putting it in my notes on my cell phone or jotting it down, it doesn't stop. So I have to just keep it going.
I mean, I envy my sister-in-law who will go to bed at 9 p.m. and sleep through straight until 10 a.m.
Yeah. I'm also very envious of people who can fall asleep immediately.
That's me. 5 to 7 minutes.
I wish.
But then I wake up. So what good is it?
For me, I feel like I'm just okay, brain, shut off.
Really? Don't you watch TV?
But I start I'm a multitasker. It's really hard for me to focus, because I'm always thinking of something else. Well, it's awful, but I got to get better at that.
Who was it? Was it here? Oh no, one of my friends told me that he learned from from somewhere, podcast or something, that if you can't sleep, it's likely because you have something on your brain from work. And so if you stop, I don't know if you have to get up, but you either put a fiction audiobook in or read a fiction book.
Okay.
It shuts off your work side of the brain and triggers a different one.
It puts you in fantasy land.
And it'll help you fall asleep.
Oh, I do that.
Does it work? I haven't tried it. He just told this to me.
Well, the other thing though, if you are not alone, then you might be waking someone up.
Well, that's where the audiobook comes in.
I know, but then you have to wear the ear pods and they hurt.
Oh, really? They don't hurt me.
I don't want to sleep with ear pods in my ears.
Well, you're going to really fall asleep?
Yes.
Oh.
I prefer to watch either Love is Blind or American Idol on Hulu.
Okay.
When you get up in the middle of the night?
Well, yeah, if I can't fall asleep, first of all, I'm usually sweating. So, and I have the fan on, the window open. So I'm going to start putting the AC on, actually.
Yeah, I had the window open last night. It felt so good.
We did
It got cold overnight.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Good.
I have those three, what is it? It's a 3-window and with the cranks. And I don't know if they're opening the wrong way or what, but there's no breeze coming in.
Oh.
There's nothing. And I wake up and I'm like,
yeah.
Isn't sleeping with cold the best?
The best.
Yeah. The best.
The best.
I saw a meme recently. It said, for Mother's Day, I want a freezing cold hotel room, an Ambien, and no human beings.
Yes. Yes.
And I thought,
Right?
wow.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
I love that. I saw something really funny that's similar to that. It was this woman talking about how, she's just so done with being a woman because she's like, I have to carry the kids, birth the kids, take care of the kids, feed the kids, clean the house, going through all the things. And she's like, and we haven't even talked about work yet. She's like, so in my next lifetime, God, I want to be a tree. Can you just let me be a tree? I just need to hang out for 100 years or so. And she's like, and then when I come back after that, just let me be the uncle.
Yes.
Or you could just be a man. You could just be a dad, right? Because all you do is work.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything else, really.
I loved it.
No offense to you dads out there, but some of you don't do shit.
Well, I call it 3 shifts. Your first shift is getting all the human beings up and fed and out. And then second shift is going to work. And then third shift is
feeding those people.
Right.
Yeah.
Shuttling them.
And cleaning up after the day. And yeah.
Planning
and then
for
how is your brain supposed to shut down after that? Right?
I create a routine though. Without that routine, I've learned I have great difficulty. And even if it's for 10 minutes, I mean, once in a blue moon, like last night, I didn't go down. I go downstairs, I watch a little bit of TV, and it kind of tells me.
It tells you it's the end of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calm
and the
down.
Sleep specialists say you should have a sleep routine.
Yeah.
But that doesn't help me at 2 or 3 in the morning.
No.
Yeah.
That's
for
when I
me, it
wake
was
up.
my cup of tea, but that's how I
There you
fell
go.
down the stairs and broke my
Right.
foot.
Poor Rachel.
Life was telling me to slow down. I think that was life just being like, you know what?
Yeah.
You need to slow down.
Yeah.
Broken.
Yeah. And
But
here you are.
Here I am.
Here you hobbled in and you're fine.
But she goes today.
You
to
hobbled
get it
in
checked.
looking glamorous. Oh, maybe they'll take the boot off.
Praying. It's it's slowing me down. When you're thinking of things and trying to put it all together and being creative and, having something, it does slow you down. I know there's certain things that I have to today's actually, I read on Instagram, it's a self-care day, National Self-Care Day.
I like that.
So, I think you do have to be conscious of taking the time to take care of yourself and everything, but it's tough for people that are busybodies. Like I'm definitely
Well, you're a doer.
Such a busybody. I just want to do it all. And I know sometimes I just have to take that pause, and you don't have to do it all in one day. You can do it all, but you don't have to do it all in one day.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot going on.
You do.
I do.
You have a lot
I
of
do.
offices that you help out with.
Yep. Yeah. I cover a lot of ground, a lot of moving pieces all at the same time, but I love it. Like, honestly, I wouldn't want it any other way, because I love having, one thing going on and then switching gears and moving to the next. I don't know what that says about my personality, but
It is. It does keep it fresh and exciting.
Absolutely.
It does.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, I always say, like, from one office to the next, from one agent to the next, from one property to the next, it's always interesting. It's always different. Like, it's never going to be a one size fits all, and I absolutely love it. That's what, like, inspires me every single day to, like, keep moving and keep, like, I love doing this. This is fabulous.
Right?
Like, different.
I
so
mean,
different. I mean,
yeah.
I've never done this,
Right.
So, but I love it. Like, that's what makes me love, like, what I do. So, and that's just, like, my work stuff, at home. Like, I'm mom, and I've got a, home to take care of and all sorts of things to take care of.
And you love
But
cooking.
I do love cooking. Yep. I
And
love cooking.
entertaining.
Love entertaining. Yeah. So, the boot's got to come off.
The boot
Has to come on.
it's time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
time.
So we'll see.
Well, and I mean, your clients, for lack of a better word, are, I mean, I guess this is self-congratulatory, but fun people.
yes.
Because they're self people.
Not
They're
that we're talking about
extroverts.
us.
Yes.
But, it's not like you're going into places where they're introverts and don't want to talk to you. I mean,
Yeah.
when Rachel comes to the office, it's Rachel Day. Everybody's excited.
Right.
Right?
And it's never monotonous. Like, it's never
Right.
like just going in and going through the motions and, okay, you take care of this and you do this. It's always a different situation. And
Right.
I absolutely love that. For my creative side, for that, side that inspires me, like, that's so important to just
Right.
talk with, different people. And, if you ever listen to any of those, like, motivational speakers, they always talk about being of service, right? That's so important in life, because you have these skills, and how can you be of service? And for me, like, it's different from one person to the next. So I always sit down and I'm like, okay, what is it that I can help you with? And it's super satisfying too. So
Well, we love you.
I love you too.
We're obsessed.
Totally.
Obsessed.
I feel like you have this reserve of knowledge that is like you could do Jedi tricks with it.
I wish I could do Jedi tricks
Right?
with it.
I mean, to be a marketing and advertising specialist is the coolest thing. I mean, you look at even just brand boards and logos and all of that. It makes sense to you in the application of them.
Yeah. Well, I think, everybody whether they're using it for business or not, everybody has a personal brand. Like, even when we were talking about hair, right? Like, everybody has that look that's unique to them. That's something that works for them. Or you experiment with things and have fun with things, but there's always, like, that authentic self somewhere in there that you're trying to express, like, whether it's your look or your business. And I love talking about that. Like, I love finding out what that is for everybody that I work with. So I'm always trying to, like, get to, like, the core of, like, what makes you tick. And that's interesting to me. So that's where, like, when I'm looking at, your Instagram or your Facebook or even your website. I mean, I've had people come in that, have told me they have no vision whatsoever of what their personal brand is. And I can look at them and say, okay, like, there's this one woman that had no idea what she wanted to do for her logo. And head to toe, she was kind of in these, like, taupes and, like, light pink, and from her bag to it. And I was like, I'm seeing this color palette. Does that express who you are? And she's like, yeah. And there were some monograms going on there. And I was like, what if we created a monogram? Because it looks like, like some of the items that you have, they have some monograms, and it just kind of looks like that's something that fits your style. Is that right? And she's like, yeah. So it's like, I love figuring that out. That's always super interesting to me. I'm a very visual person.
Never have figured that out.
No.
I feel like you could be on the Home Edit
Maybe.
or have your own type. Have you seen the Home Edit?
No, but the shadow from your hat
Yeah.
keeps making me think you have a sleep line down your face.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I feel weird.
No, now it looks like you're wearing a sunglass shield. You can put it back down. I can get over the line.
That just reminded me. Remember the beginning of the lockdown pandemic period, and nobody had masks, and people were trying to come up with
Mask variations.
My mom offered to to buy me a shield.
Oh, okay. Well, I had one. So I decided.
Like the plastic shield?
I did, yeah.
Oh my
so,
goodness.
so when Roy was our manager and we were having one of our Zoom meetings, I decided in my own home to wear the shield. And I'm on the Zoom meeting, and Roy refused to look at me.
Oh my
He
goodness.
refused to comment on my shield. He said nothing. So I sat there on the Zoom meeting with full shield in my own home. I mean, I thought it was hysterical.
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Not funnier than when we had our online Christmas party with that wine person. And so I'm sitting in front of my computer once again because everything was Zoom.
Well, G-Rate did the party.
Oh, they did?
So they delivered, right.
Oh.
It was,
oh, yeah.
they gave us cutting boards, and it was a wine pairing. And we
Right.
did this via Zoom. It was like
What? I
an
love
effort.
this.
It was incredible.
Yeah, so we had to unpack our
It was
baskets.
so exciting.
Tony comes over with a thing over his arm, and he's pouring me my wine, and we're all laughing and drinking on the Zoom meeting. All of a sudden, my son Gregory, who has not a care in the world, comes up, and he's in a towel, just covering his waist, he's naked with just a towel, and he walks by, and he walks up, and the woman that was hosting it, she goes, she got completely flustered. She was sweating. She was red. I'm like, oh, that's just my son. I'm like, Gregory, I am on a Zoom Christmas party. He goes, oh, sorry. Showers, comes back down the same exact way.
Oh my goodness.
Towel. I mean, who does
You
that?
gotta love it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta love it.
They were hysterical. She was hysterical.
I remember one of my first meetings that I had to do, and it was like I was so nervous, like was super nervous about doing like the group trainings, the recorded
Right.
trainings. And I was in there doing the training with, I forget which office it was. It was definitely South Shore though. And the two children, my son and his friend, were arguing outside the bedroom door. And they like, my son was like, she's in a meeting. And you can hear him like wailing on his friend. And they're just like beating each other up. And I was like, I'm so sorry. One moment. So like camera off, sound off. I was like, get out of here.
Get the hell
The mom voice comes
Right.
out.
Oh yeah, I definitely scared both of them. Like they did not come.
Well,
down for the
right.
rest
I
of the
mean, how
day.
many bloopers? There were so many bloopers during that
So
time,
many.
right?
Yeah.
So many. It was a learning curve for sure.
Yeah. I haven't mastered that during our team meetings yet.
What?
Well, our team meetings are at 9 a.m.
Yeah, they're at 9. They're early.
They're early.
Right.
And in our work world, that's you know.
That's
to be-
early.
to
I mean,
be-
we're texting and talking to clients from
Yeah.
like 7 a.m. on
But-
or 6:30. But to
Yeah.
be on camera and to
Yeah.
have a meeting
No.
with your team is completely different.
Yeah. You look great, though.
Well, I don't know. I'm glad I put my makeup and did everything because I had to run out of the house because I'm not going back with that critter.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've realized I need heavy, heavy, dark black eyeliner on a
I put some
daily.
heavy on.
I wish I didn't need eye makeup. And
Why don't you go permanent?
I don't want to.
I'm a mascara daily. Like I need mascara to look awake. I actually remember going into work once when we were all like in offices every day, and I remember somebody saying to me, "Oh, you didn't wear mascara today." It's that obvious. Like it's that.
Oh
obvious
yeah.
that I
Well,
don't-
when I don't wear eyeliner, people are like, "Are you okay?
yeah,
Are you
yeah.
tired?
I have that like tired, like sick look. If I
Why
don't wear
is that? Well,
mascara.
are your eyelashes blonde?
They're pretty light. Yeah, yeah.
Well, you
So-
didn't listen to the episode on Monday, but I was complaining that I woke up and I looked at my eyelashes and it looked like somebody took scissors and cut my eyelashes in half.
Oh.
So I'm dealing with that right now. And the critter. I have so much on my plate.
Oh my goodness, that critter. I wonder if it'll make its way out by the time you get back.
Oh, it's probably running around my house right now.
Nobody's
Think?
home.
Nope.
You have pets?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Now you do.
I envision that raccoon running.
You think it's a raccoon?
I don't know what it is.
I would say it's
The
probably
Loch
a
Ness
squirrel
Monster?
or
I think
a
squirrel.
raccoon. A squirrel. They do sound big. I mean, because they're much bigger than a mouse. But
No, I
it's
sent the
coming
video to Auntie Benny. She goes, no, that's not a squirrel. That's something bigger.
Oh,
So it is the Loch Ness Monster.
well, it might be.
It's fine.
Let's talk branding. Let's talk more about marketing stuff. I love hearing it. How
Yeah.
Rachel just
I love talking
looked
about
at
it. so-
someone and was like, "This is your brand."
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's amazing to me.
And you
That's a
helped us with
talent.
our logo.
Yeah, and which looks amazing.
So
it looks
cool.
so good.
It really
I love
does.
it.
But for me, I look at it. It's no different than with interior design. I'm a saleswoman, right? But people assume that because we sell houses that we're designers too. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't. I can fake
That's
it.
not true, Meredith. You arranged our office furniture beautifully. You brought in pieces. You brought in staging pieces. You bought yellow chairs.
Well, maybe
Anyway.
on that scale.
Yeah,
You know?
but
Well,
not
for
from
me,
a
like,
design standpoint.
yeah, and oftentimes I'll get questions about copywriting. I'm not a writer. I feel like I can't
Right.
fully
There you go.
express myself
Yeah.
with words, especially written, you know, like when somebody's looking for a tagline or a headline. I'll get there eventually. It's not that I can't do it,
Yeah.
but it's not something that kind of flows naturally for me.
Right.
Where visuals is something that absolutely 1000%, like, I can just think about it for a few minutes and come up with a visual that I'm like, this is you, this is the ad, this is how we're arranging these photos, this is what we're going to use as the leading photo in the advertising, this is the angle we're working with, this is, you know, how I envision your branding. But when it comes to the headline, I struggle. I actually had somebody ask me yesterday because they were trying to come up with like a small sentence, like the bio type thing,
Oh,
like
right,
that you're
right.
working on,
Yep.
and that's just so hard for me. I'm like, I'll get there eventually, but it's not like one of those, like, it doesn't roll off of my tongue.
Right, it's
naturally.
hard.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Really hard.
yeah. So I do have a design background, and I was creative director at the company that I worked at previously. So you know that part is my background. That's where I'm coming from. So when I was actually hired by the company, I was the designated marketing coordinator for that one office. So I was doing a ton of designing. I was doing all of the ads for Boston magazines, and I was working with our luxury, which was Previews at the time,
Right.
and then, you know, eventually became Global Luxury. So I was
Excuse
doing
me,
all
can
the-
we stop right there for a minute? Meredith, can you imagine having Rachel just in our office for our marketing? This is what she's saying.
I mean,
That's
for us, it would
for
be amazing.
every day.
But I feel like you would get bogged down if you had 70 agents,
I know, but
different
that's what she
levels
did.
of
Like,
ability, and
Yeah, I did that for years.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Wow.
hired to do.
like, can you make this ad for me?
were you in the Newton office?
No, I was in the Weston office.
Oh,
Yeah. So lots of, you know, high-end properties and doing a lot of advertising for the publications. And I had so much fun with it. I loved
bet.
like doing the layout and the design of all I loved setting up the photography. I went on a lot of photo shoots.
You did?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that's how I ended up working with a lot of these photographers and having relationships with the photographers, was from the photo shoots for
Oh,
previews
right.
and for,
I can't believe you set up the photo shoots and went on them.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, you know, because some of these homes and the, you know, the outbuildings, and, you know, they would have many buildings on one
Right.
piece of property. So it's like, how are we going to tell the story of this particular property? Like, there was one that had like a water tower property. It had skating, like a lodge for, like, because they had a pond for like the skating.
Wow.
And then they had another. So it's like, okay, well, how are we going? It was like a park.
Right.
So how are we going to tell the story of this property, and, you know, how are you going to bring it to sale?
Yeah, because that was a lifestyle property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they had, like, you know, street lamps along the little roads that were within the property. So it was just like, it was very unique, you know. There was a very unique property that had art installation from top to bottom, side to side. So when I talk about, like, art installation, it was like a custom staircase that had different sound effects as you walked up the stairs. Like, I'd never seen anything like it in my life. But it was like a really cool contemporary home. But, you know, you're going to have a unique buyer
Right.
for something like that. So how are we going to tell the story? You know, who are we going to advertise to? And for something like that, it was, you know, we have a list of, you know, art collectors, people that's what they do. They collect art. So we wanted to make sure that they knew that it was on the market, and made sure that they got those magazines, those photos in their hands. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah. It was a lot of fun seeing all those different properties and trying to decide what's the best angle to photograph from, because, you know, we want to tell that story.
Right.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's the publication piece too, right? So you take the marketing and then
Yeah.
you target advertising, making sure that the right people are seeing this property.
Yeah, and, you know, with something that is designer decorated, or, you know, and these sellers, they're going to want their photos in something like an Architectural Digest. They're going to want their photos for sure in Boston Common, because Boston Common is one of those publications that you can find in any salon, any boutique, anything like that. So you want to make sure that people that are looking at that are seeing those photos of, you know, these homes that were designer decorated or, you know, outfitted with custom, you know, moldings, or, you know, these architects that do these gorgeous homes, that their business is being put there. So like the right people, the right audiences is viewing them. So yeah.
You know, I think about that sometimes. Stephanie and I aspire to greatness. Hope one day. But
It's
when
daily
you
struggle.
Right. You know, did you guys hear the commercial, John Morgan? I'm John Morgan, Morgan & Morgan.
I think so.
Yeah, I've seen the billboard too.
So
The
they've
attorney?
obviously launched, I don't know who they are, but they've launched this massive advertising campaign and TV and billboards and all of it. And you wonder if sometimes there are people who are intimidated by that, so they don't call.
Yeah, absolutely. That's strategy too. You know, some of the top agents that I've worked with, you know, they don't do a ton of advertising because they're known as that discreet, confidential, private sale, high end, you know, and they don't want it everywhere. They're like, okay, you know, I can respect what somebody else does, but I don't want my property posted all over Instagram or Facebook. Like this is something that, you know, there's a certain audience that I want to know about this, and that's that. I mean, we definitely had situations with copyrights for photos and things like that, just because it was like super private, you know, definitely didn't want anything out there. So, you know, you really have to serve your client, you know, what your client's looking for too, and taking that into consideration. And, you know, your client base and your sphere is going to look different from, you know, one team to the next too. You know, like I feel like everybody does have a good variety, but you know, they're going to hire you ultimately for who you are and appreciating, you know, who you are. And, you know, I would just say, like, for each individual, it's not for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, somebody's going to hire you because they want to work with you. They love what you bring to the table. And, you know, somebody else might be like, you know what, I'm going with this person because, you know, so I always feel like as far as the competition of like getting the listings, there's something for everybody. Right. You know, it's not going to necessarily be there's one person for every client, but there's a client for every agent. So, you know, it is out there. It is, you know, not a completely even playing field, but you know, you will find your path.
Well, we see that too with the team. So there's 11 of us. And I think that there's a feeling in the beginning of working with the team that, oh my God, you know, if there's 3 agents in Easton, how am I going to get any business? But there's plenty of business for everybody. Yeah. And you have your own sphere that I don't touch. You've got your own. And you're going to work in that realm, you know, and beyond. But it's not anything to worry about because there are people who want to work with just you.
Well, and I think as a team, that's what, you know, you bring so much to the table because you have all of these personalities that you're working with. You have all of these people. Like maybe there's a situation where you're just like, you know what, I think you're going to know how to talk to this person. Why don't you take this? You know, or maybe you have someone on your team, you know, that is really good with the marketing. So and you have a client that wants to know everything about all the marketing that you're doing and wants to really get into the nitty gritty. You're going to have them talk to. So you're bringing all of that with you by having this amazing team. And I'm like, I love that. I've known, you know, a few teams that have played off of everyone's personality that way. And it's worked out really well because you have, you know, somebody that, oh, well, this person is who works with the builders. So I'm going to have you talk to her. Oh, this person works with the stager. So let's talk to her. I love that. I love that kind of partnership. It works really well.
We had a good one with a property just recently where we brought in an interior designer.
Oh, my God.
And
what an amazing job she did. Meredith took me through the house the other day, and I couldn't believe it. The rooms that she transformed.
And it wasn't in a way so that...
She used the space differently.
But the pieces that she brought in blended.
It was just perfect.
It wasn't like, you know, suddenly, you know, you have these sort of black contemporary tables and then all of a sudden she put in this country whatever, flashy something.
Everything flowed.
It
looked like it belonged there.
It looked like it belonged, Rachel. That was it.
Yeah. I love that.
Like, I never would have known, but when Meredith started pointing out everything that she did in each room, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe the transformation because I never would have known.
No.
I love that.
Yeah.
I had a question the other day about virtual staging, because that's, that
Right.
sometimes people can't envision what the home looks like without pieces of furniture, or
Right.
like without
Yes.
it being lived in. But, sometimes with a newer construction home, I feel like it can look very, what do they call it, grayish? That
Yes.
beige and
Yes.
gray.
Yes.
Yep.
And all the rooms kind of look like a shiny box because you got
Yes.
brand new floors and
Right.
fresh paint. Beautiful, but it's
Right.
hard for people to envision, living in it,
Right.
and how they would, position furniture and how they would lay out the room. So that can be super helpful. The home that was in question was actually an older home, and it was very, traditional with the built-ins in the dining room and the fireplace in the living room. And I said, you know what? It's got beautiful floors. The floors had just been refinished, and they were unique. They weren't like the newer floors that you're seeing, with the wide plank, dark colors, like it was an older home.
Yeah.
And I said, have it photographed first, just to see, how I really don't think it needs as much virtual staging as you might be thinking, because it's now empty. It had gone from being a home that had been, in the family for a very long time, lots of furniture, lots of things in it. They completely cleaned it out for sale, so it was looking very empty. But I think to a potential buyer, they're going to see those big open spaces, the beautifully refinished floors, and then all the period detail that's in there, instead of, putting a lot of furniture back in it just because it feels empty now that
Right.
it's out.
Right.
So, and you can always go back and have those digitally edited. That's an easy thing to do if you feel like there's a room that isn't as defined. But sometimes those older homes, they're just so easy to tell, with like the built-ins in the dining room,
Right,
with the
exactly.
fireplace in the living
Yeah.
room, with the big picture window, it's easy
And
to
they
tell.
didn't have wide open spaces back in the older homes. So every
Yeah.
room you kind of know that this
Yeah.
is the family room and this is the living room and
The
this is the
parlor.
office, right? The parlor. The right.
Yeah.
What other
So,
old words are there?
Puff is an
powder
England
room.
term.
The powder room.
There was another one. I can't think of it. It'll come to me.
I think parlor is
Parlor's
a New
it.
England term.
The parlor.
It's a front room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not quite a living room.
Right.
I'm going to bring it back.
Formal space.
Yeah.
You have a
Yeah.
parlor and you're...
I don't have a parlor.
Have you ever seen that show?
Is a mudroom a parlor? Like
No.
a
I
big
feel
one?
like a mudroom is like newer, right?
Yes.
It's like a newer term, because
Yes.
that's like where you come in from the garage typically.
Right.
And like,
Throw
yeah.
all your
Drop
shoes
zone.
and crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this show that's about historic New England homes. I think it's on HGTV, but it's fascinating because it's all about like the traditional spaces in New England homes. And
The birthing
that's,
room.
Oh, I need to find the show.
I was just going to
found
say
a
Meredith
website.
would love
I want to
that.
say it's called like Historic Homes or something. I'd have to look it up. But it's fascinating because it's about New England. It's a South
So-
Shore like group.
There, I've just 3 a.m. This is what I was looking up. Joyce's daughter's house is on it. Her new house in Harvard. So it's this
Oh.
super cool. The previous owners.
What do you
there
mean,
were
where
all
is
types
her
of
house?
deed restrictions in Harvard, Mass.
No, where is it?
In Harvard.
No, is it on MLS?
Oh, so I was on Instagram and
Oh.
up popped up a suggestion that had historic New England homes. I think that's
maybe
how.
it is. But that's the type of stuff that sucks me in. So like
Oh.
the reality shows, like I get multitasking when it's something like that. I'm like, it just draws me in, and
I geek
can't
out
get
at
enough.
it so much. Well, it's historical fiction.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Essentially, if you like historical fiction, you go
Yeah.
into these homes and a history of lives have lived here.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about them is the add-ons over time.
Yes. Well, and that's very New England. It's very unique
Right.
to this area. So, and that's one of the things that I love about like some of these older homes and seeing these listings is just, like you can see where it started, and then you can see
Right.
Yes.
They have like this little shack, and then there's a ginormous addition that's
Yes.
modern.
Yeah.
And-
My dad would say, they didn't use an architect.
Is your dad an architect?
No, but
no.
you see some.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I'll go if I have a historical home, at least for Easton for sure. We have a magnificent historical department, but you can pull. Massachusetts does too, so you can pull up the address through. It's MACRIS, I guess Macris. I don't know what it stands for, but Mass Historical or something. But the homes all have had historical backgrounds done on them, and you can go into this website. That's where I pulled Highland
really?
Street,
Oh.
and you pull the history. This was the Rachel Jacobs house of 1726, and
I love stuff
she
like that.
was married to so and so, and he did this, and these were her kids, and then this was part of a 100-acre farm, and you can read the whole thing. I'll send you the website.
Amazing.
Because it's
I love stuff like that.
I mean, if you like that historical, it's pretty cool. So the last house I sold on Prospect Street, where I went down, this was in Easton, went down to the basement, and the owner said, "Oh, this sea of pines that you see," what he was trying to say, there were all these structural beams put up after the fact, like a lot. So he said, "Yeah, I know you're probably asking what they were for." The owner, like 2 owners ago, had a wedding, his daughter's wedding, in the house, and he had this irrational fear that they would be dancing in the living room and that the floor would collapse.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
And so he's like, we just left him here because there's no need to take him down.
Put a bunch of beams up.
He put a bunch of beams. So those
We're
types
just
of
gonna
things.
throw up some beams for the wedding
Just to
guests.
hold
We don't
up the
want
wedding
anyone
party.
falling to the floor, right?
Or you see like the canning areas in the basement. It's just
It's so cool.
So
Yeah,
different
on
than today.
Highland Street, I found an old skeleton key.
Oh,
Rusted.
very cool.
And then I found chains hanging.
Oh,
Oh,
hello.
creepy.
I love creepy basements.
I don't. I get scared. I never go into the basement first. I send my clients down first. I said, you guys go down first and let me know if it's scary or not, or if there's any dead bodies.
So if something happens, you can run in the opposite
Yeah,
direction.
I'm not going down there first. I send them down.
I love
They're like,
that.
okay.
I like to go down to see if I get spooked out or if I feel like there's like a creepy energy.
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
the bad energy.
Love it. I'm like, whoa, anybody feel that?
And it's true. Sometimes you can feel the thick energy.
Oh, so
And it-
true.
right?
The hair will go up
Yes.
on the back of your neck and you're like,
Yes.
whoa.
Yep.
And I get all like anxiety in my
Ooh.
chest. I'm like, something's in here.
So I actually went to go look at a listing in, I want to say it was in New Bedford. It was a couple years ago, and it was a
Lizzie Borden's house.
No, but it was on the water. It was beautiful, like beautiful, beautiful old home that had been converted into offices, and it was hitting the market. And they were going to try selling it as could be commercial, could be converted back into beautiful home. And the owner, had lovingly restored every fixture, like it was like period detail gold. It was
wow.
gorgeous. But I went up onto the 3rd floor, and it was that weird energy, like really weird energy. And and that's where the water was out there. And when I came downstairs, and it was a broker's tour, and they were all talking, and the owner was just like, "Yeah, they say that the 3rd floor is haunted." And I was like, "I knew it! I knew it!" I was like, "I knew it!"
You felt it.
When I was up there, there was the creepiest energy. I'm like, "I knew it."
Reminds me of a story once when I was selling a house in Easton. Meredith goes, by the way, legend says a priest hung himself on that 3rd floor. Okay, bye. And meanwhile, my clients were buying the house. I'm like, what? I said, why did you tell me that?
Right.
And so
That's going to be all you think about.
Well, so I sat on this
She
information.
didn't know if she should tell them or not.
I said, I don't know what to do, and I need to just, whatever information I have, I need to say it. I'm like, you guys, I have to tell you something. You're like, sorry, what is wrong? I'm like, Meredith told me that legend has it that a priest hung himself and died in this house on the 3rd floor. They go, oh, we don't care. I'm like, oh my God. For 2 days, I was sick over it. Absolutely sick.
And you finally tell them, they're like, whatever.
They're like, we could care less. We want to buy the house. I'm like, okay, let's move forward then, folks. Well, Meredith and I had a house that wouldn't sell. People kept backing out.
4 years.
She had a bunch of different realtors.
I think 8 agents or
yes,
something.
8 for all different, like she could not sell the house. So it was off the market. I was actually going over there because it was withdrawn, and I had a client, and I went to go, my client canceled that morning, and I called her. I didn't call her. I just went to the house, and I'm like, ding dong. I said, by the way, my client canceled. I said, but I'm still dying to see the house. She's like, oh, come in. By the end of the conversation, she goes, I don't know what it is. She goes, but I'm giving you my listing. And it was the house was beautiful. So I knew I couldn't do it alone. So I brought Meredith in. Meredith delivered all the bad news. So when we partner up, I can only deliver the good news. Like, hey, yay, your offer was accepted. Yay.
And then I come in and say, We now need a price reduction.
Right. I was like, sorry, that offer fell through. I'm sorry, you didn't get it. So Meredith she's so good at delivering the bad news. It's wonderful. Anyway, so she hires us. We're like the 9th agents in, and we're not having good luck.
Wait, though, we
Yeah.
committed to her in a conversation.
We did.
We said,
We said,
we will sell your house.
Yes.
We will figure out what is going on, and we will sell your house. We committed to it because she needed help. She needed out of this property.
Yeah.
yep.
It was at that point.
Yes.
And she had a lot of tragedy, a lot of trauma in her life, and she needed to have this piece closed. And we would have an offer, and we were like, we have an offer. And then the next morning, it would just fall apart. The buyers would withdraw. I mean, it was like we had multiples of
Yes,
those as
it
well.
happened over and
goodness.
over. I've never
Strange.
had that happen.
But
We brought in,
I said to Stephanie first,
Yeah, she's
and I
like,
am
we need to
not
discuss.
into like any hokey stuff. I would call it hokey.
it
But-
is not hokey.
I said, we need something different. And we brought in this, I don't know, she's world renowned, but she's a feng shui specialist
Okay. Yeah.
and
It was
sought after
hundreds and
and
hundreds
very
of dollars.
expensive.
We're
So I
like,
said-
we can afford you for 15 minutes.
Would you mind if we brought her in? Stephanie said, absolutely. And our seller was on board with that. She was totally on board with whatever we needed.
Yeah, because she had kind of crystals laying
Yeah.
around. And
So it was her realm
yeah. And so the feng shui person walks in. She goes,
with her accent.
wait, what did she say? This house is not good.
It's like the house was terrible.
The way it was
She
situated.
has her whole compass, and she's
Because I was
walking
gonna
around.
say, feng shui is like the energy flows in certain, like it has to be like in harmony, right? That's how they work.
It does, yes.
Yeah.
Everything, right. Every room has to be in harmony. Absolutely right. The flow, everything. And this
but
house.
the way that the house was positioned, it rolled to the back into water, was bad.
Yeah.
That energy flow. So she walked through, and
with her clipboard
compass
and compass and whistle.
and like whatever paraphernalia she has with the seller, and the seller had to change colors in the house. She had to, at the entranceway, she said, you have to add movement here. So I need you to, it was like wind chimes or something.
Yes,
Add
it was
movement
wind chimes and hanging
and
crystals.
food dogs in the back.
Like, right.
Because they had to block the energy in the back.
Yes.
Because the energy there, she said, would go right through the front door
And
right
out the back.
Yeah,
The
I
way
know that
the
that
Yes,
is
and
a
into
thing.
the water.
That is a thing. It's not the entrance in the front should never go straight through the back. I remember that being a thing in some of the homes when I do the photography.
Thank God
I'd be like,
mine
"Oh, feng
doesn't."
shui, this is bad.
Does yours?
No.
Can you go-
walk into
can
the
you-
staircase.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
good.
she had to put a mirror up or a crystal here.
And she was into it. She's like, I'll do whatever she says.
Yeah.
So she did it. And drum roll. What happened the next day, Meredith?
Offer shows up in our inbox.
Amazing.
And
And it was a very difficult deal to keep together, but it stuck.
That's
Something
amazing.
changed just within her walkthrough. And
I have
maybe
the
you're a
goosebumps.
scientist and you can say, not possible, and I get it, and I'll concede to that. But we know the series of events that happened that next day, and that was the offer. It
That's
was
incredible.
like, it was amazing.
Wow.
And it was hard. That was a tough deal to keep together. They were on, they were off, they were on, they were off. It was like we were on like a stagecoach or something.
it was bad.
Yeah.
Well, what's the saint that they put in the
Saint
Joseph.
Oh, I thought it was
Is it Christopher?
No, it's Joseph.
Oh, it's Joseph.
Is it?
You put him upside down in your front yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I remember an agent telling me about that too. They were
I'll
like,
say
"Oh, I
to
have to
people-
go get it and put it in the front yard
My
before the open
clients-
house this
If
weekend."
the
I was
house
like,
hasn't
"What?"
sold,
Right.
right? Like, did you bury? They go, oh, bury St. Joseph upside down in the front of the yard. Yeah, we did
Yeah,
that
we did
4
it.
months ago.
I was just watching some realtor's reel, and she does it for every house she lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a couple that, that was their thing before the open houses when they would do it. They were like, "Oh, I got to swing by before that open house on Saturday. 'cause
Love
I gotta
that.
go bury the saint."
We love
It's like,
St. Joseph.
"Excuse me,
He's
what?"
so cute.
Well, you know what's funny? The majority of the agents on our team haven't experienced buyer market.
Well, and I feel like it's almost like, even in like major league sports and, you see people have these like rituals, these like
Yes.
superstitions, like it's even true in
Especially
real estate.
right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm superstitious. People ask me, like, you're putting your under agreement sign up. I don't like to do it.
Oh, because you got to wait until that's like
Because
signed, sealed, delivered.
I feel like I put that up and
Don't jinx me, Meredith.
It's not. It's me.
Actually,
it's like
do you
pulling
have
a
one?
snow stake out and then
Out of
guaranteed
panels.
it's going to snow.
Right,
right.
right. It's like you can't take that ice scraper out of your car
I
because
can't
it's
help
going to
it.
be your fault that
Yes.
it snows next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not like that.
Yeah.
That's good. I probably have an under agreement
Oh, thanks.
because I don't use them.
Oh,
But you know what? I don't like to use them either.
why?
This is
Because you want people to still call you on the property.
no,
Why?
because I'm too lazy to go get the sign routed before closing. And I wind up
And you
losing
forget
so
that
many.
it's there.
Oh, I
It's up
know.
against
Lose it.
It's up against the sign. People are like, we left it next to the tree. And I'm like,
Oh, I know.
it's like going to get my lockbox.
I know.
I lose those too.
I know.
I just have to count it as part of my business.
I've had friends say to me before, they're like, oh, that house is still for sale. I'm like, no, it's not. And they're like, no, I saw the sign this morning. I'm like, no,
They
it's,
just
it's
forgot.
not. It closed. I'm like, I can tell you, like, I saw it close through my office.
Right.
Like, it's good. It's all set. Well, the sign's still there. The agent just didn't pick it up. Like, it's just, they didn't call that one in
We didn't
yet.
call. We forgot.
They didn't call it in yet.
Oh, for 2 months I forgot to call on one. So finally my clients send me, they pulled it out themselves and they sent me a photo of him like under the sign. Like the sign.
Like it
I go,
fell on him?
oh my God, I forgot. I'm
love that.
sorry.
A lot of people do think they're supposed to take the sign out.
Right, you're not people. We
Yeah.
have a sign company.
Right.
We call and they come and take it out
They're
for
like,
you.
"Oh, we
Don't
put it at
touch
the side
it.
of the house."
Keep your hands off our signs, okay? Do you understand how much we pay for those panels? Don't touch them.
And that's the best advertising, too.
It
So
is.
leave it there.
Exactly.
So fun when you have a sign up on a busy road.
Some people leave the signs up, the sold sign, like a month after they already sold the house.
So, you know what's interesting? On a very busy road in Easton.
You did that?
No.
You're one of those.
We were the list side and we closed. Sign came down. The buy side put up a sign.
What?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Why didn't they just
Brilliant.
use your hooks? And
Brilliant.
I mean, my
I will be
goodness.
doing that from now on.
And not for nothing, Jess was incensed. She was so mad. And I'm like, I think that's actually brilliant.
Brilliant. Good
I've-
for her.
I've put them up or been known to put them up on a busy road for condo associations where they're not allowed.
Oh.
And then they say, you got to take this down. And I'll say, fine, it's been up for 5 days. I'm good.
All right, I'm
5
good.
days of visibility.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the two things that I always hear are the best advertising. One is the sign.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then second are those just listed and just sold cards.
Oh,
I
am all about
people-
Yes,
those.
Meredith's obsessed with those, and now I pay hundreds of dollars more because Meredith does to send out hers. So,
Yes.
because you only get 200, so now we pay
Expand
extra.
it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hear that from, the top of the top agents to agents that are, just starting out that
Yep.
say this is the best advertising.
Yeah,
It really is.
Signs and
After the
postcards.
sign, getting those cards.
I
out
mean,
to
you
the
have to
neighborhood.
invest though, because sending direct mail is very expensive now. I
Yes.
mean, it's 50 cents a piece just to mail it.
Yep.
So it's, but I think it's worth it because you really don't get much mail these days.
Right.
So
right.
you're going to get an eye.
Yep. No, absolutely. I feel like, that I hear more about that than when people ask me, like, what can I do? What can I do? I'm like, don't miss out on those cards. Make sure you're sending your cards. Make sure that sign is up in, enough time that you leave it there, for the
Plus, our
duration
company
of-
makes it easy,
That is very true.
right?
Yeah,
And all you have
yeah.
to do is you put your credit card in. So you can bump
Yep.
it up to as many as you want. You
Right.
put your
Yeah.
credit card in and
Right.
you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Making it easy.
Yeah.
I customize. Do you customize your notes in the postcard?
It depends.
I do.
I know.
Yeah.
I usually
think
tell people what it sold for.
Yeah, and sometimes time is of the essence getting them out too,
Yeah.
because but I feel like the market, it's been a crazy market. We just went through where you were seeing lots of properties selling within hours.
Yeah.
Never mind like the full 24 hours. They were getting accepted offers almost immediately once it hit. Now it's it's changing a little bit. So just be consistent with your marketing. Like no matter what the market
Agreed.
is like,
Right.
just
Yeah.
be consistent with what you're putting out there,
Right.
because it can go one way or the other, and you just want to make sure that you're still putting in equal effort no matter what. Because when times are great. When it's a little tougher because there's more competition or, rates or, whatever it is that's the challenge, you want to still make sure that your marketing is getting pushed out
Right.
there. And
Always be
Yeah.
marketing.
always be marketing.
Always.
Well, we
That
just
is our
had-
job.
We just had
Yeah.
12 offers on one of our
Yep.
team's listings.
How many offers in total on our listings did we have? Did you count?
I did. I put it in the text. I think it was 23 or something like that.
Wow.
maybe. Yeah.
Wow.
So 20, it was, I think 18 was the final number where we had the number of listings that we had, the number of offers that were accepted. And then I think it was 18 families.
And all
who
our,
were
our
still
new
left without
listings, yeah,
homes.
they
Like
went over.
18
Yeah, it's a lot
groups
of
just
people.
from this weekend still need homes in that price point.
Yeah.
So when people say to me, "Oh, you're killing it." Well, I'm in sales. If I don't have the product that I'm selling, it's not great.
Right.
I mean, to have
Right.
12 offers on a property, it would be killing it if I had 11 more.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
That would
I
be
know.
great. But to have one
Right.
and
Yeah.
11 families who want to buy what I have, but I
Right.
don't have anything for
You
them.
don't have any more. That's all.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's not great, right?
Yeah.
We
have to work
inventory.
harder, Meredith. We have to
are
work
trying.
harder.
So we have
We're
out
trying
of that.
so hard.
Our team is sending out mailers. They are knocking on doors.
Yes.
They are doing open houses this weekend.
Yep.
They are trying. They are working so hard to find more listings for the buyers. People need homes. I mean,
Yeah.
this is just basic necessity, and it's wild. We don't have inventory.
It is
It's
wild.
And this has been going on for years
And it's going to continue
already. Right.
Are you seeing a lot of relocating? Because I know that was happening a lot during COVID. People
Yes.
were moving.
Yes.
Everybody was moving down the Cape,
Yeah.
down to Florida.
I've seen it at this weekend and so far this year, a ton of people moving out of the city.
Yeah. Wow.
I have
Quincy.
clients that are selling clients that have second homes that are moving into their second homes.
Wow,
And they're selling
okay.
their primary residence. That's
Oh,
what we've
yeah.
had lately.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so
Yeah, that for
and it was
sure.
a second home that they bought during COVID.
Okay.
And
Oh,
so yeah.
yeah.
And so they're moving there.
yeah.
Downsizers stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not necessarily. One of my clients, the house is even bigger that they're moving into, and they are selling an enormous house here.
Yeah.
They just want to be on the Cape. And then they're going to come here and rent.
We
Like
we've
a few months
we've seen
during
a
the
bounce
winter.
back from the Cape too.
Yeah.
People
I'm seeing
moved to
like
the
a
Cape
tunnel.
and then people were like, actually, I don't want to be down here 12 months of the year.
Well, people
Yeah.
don't like the Cape in the winter.
right.
Yeah.
It's a
I mean,
little
it's
dreary.
beautiful, but you're a little isolated.
You're a little isolated.
Yeah,
And,
and think
Yeah.
about being down there in January.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to
Yeah.
come over the bridge.
Yeah. I am seeing a lot of rental activity though, like rentals and condos. I'm seeing a ton of activity with, more rentals and more condos and
What age group?
and like young professionals.
Because for a while
Yeah.
we were seeing our downsizers go into rentals. They didn't
Yeah.
want to own anymore. They just wanted to
Right.
rent.
They wanted to take
Yeah.
a break.
Take a break.
Yeah.
Take a break. And we're still trying to get that message out.
Well, it's nice. I mean, too, if you go into a nice
So
rental, it'll cost you a
nice.
mint.
Right.
But you can go into a beautiful rental.
And
Why
everything's
not?
taken care of.
Everything's taken care of. It's
Wonderful.
a nice, it's lifestyle.
It
Right.
is
right? It's like
lifestyle.
living in the city at the W.
Absolutely. We were just talking about that with the Manhattan offices that I cover. That it's a lifestyle. I feel like because I'm always surprised with when I'm in our Manhattan offices that the pricing of like a studio or 1-bedroom, condo is very comparable to Boston. But it's a lifestyle, right?
Right.
When
Right.
you're in the city, you don't have your car. You
Right.
don't have, things like that. So you're paying for that, New York City lifestyle. And, it's same in Boston too. You're paying for like the city lifestyle, but it's really like, what do you want out of life?
Right.
What makes you happy? And that's what you got to go for.
That's a deep question.
It was fabulous.
You might have to come back again, Rachel.
for part 2.
What do you want out of life?
I feel
What
like
does make
when we
you
come
happy?
back, we should do like a surprise, like give 2 visuals of Rachel to look
do you
at.
mean?
And she has to
Oh.
figure it out or something.
All right.
Okay.
We'll come up with some good stuff.
We could give this person and that person and determine their brand.
Okay, I like it.
I love it.
All right,
yes.
perfect. So, Rachel, you'll be coming back.
Well, thank you.
Can we book you in June?
Absolutely. Thank you for having
Perfect.
me. It's been so
Right.
much fun.
Well, that's the end of another
Rachel
episode.
Jacobs.
We love
World
Rachel
famous.
Jacobs.
Guys,
World
I love you
famous.
guys.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Creative
Best
director
hair.
for Weinstein Keach.
Yes.
Great hair.
Yes.
Fun
Thank you.
personality.
Yes.
Thank you.
Even more fun to have lunch with.
Yes.
I love having lunch with you guys.
I'm hungry. And Adam, it is freezing in here today. Yes, Adam. I know I complain every time. It's too hot. Today, I'm shivering.
Usually it's very hot in here.
Well, I'm freezing. I mean, I need a blanket.
You have critters. You have
Ugh.
cold.
Goodbye.
Meredith
Can't go home and get a
Goodbye,
blanket.
everybody.
I'm
I'm Stephanie
Meredith Keach.
Weinstein. It's been a day.